Titanfall 2 failed. Because of EA. Titanfall 2 is one of the most underrated games ever. I'd say this game has a fun campaign, shout out BT, and an extremely fun multiplayer experience that set up now failed / not failed Battle Royale, Apex Legends. This game was set up to fail from the very beginning, shout out Mac Jones, because no matter how great or underrated this game is, when you have a release window next to Battlefield 1 and insert yearly Call of Duty here, you basically just don't stand a chance. It's like releasing an album the same month as Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande. Especially when you had that year's Call of Duty basically look like a Titanfall clone. Not to mention it felt like EA did very little marketing for this game. That way, consumers got excited or were even able to figure out the difference between the two outside of mechs in space. Either way, Titanfall 2 is a must play, and with the possibility of a Titanfall 3, it might be good to get that Titanfall fever. This game is a sequel to Titanfall 1, duh. If you remember the original Titanfall, when trailers, betas, or really any announcements for the game started coming out, people labeled it as a COD killer, and guess what?
It f***ing sucked!
The game wasn't awful, but it also wasn't some sort of work of art. The original Titanfall honestly felt like a game with tons of potential due to the game's movement system and use of Titans mechs, as a replacement for Call of Duty's kill streaks. The issue here was the game was basically the Sahara Desert in regards to the amount of content in the game. Even including the game's DLCs, the game was still very much void of content. There were limited weapons, customizations, maps, no single player campaign really hurt Titanfall's chances of being that COD killer. And for being a multiplayer only game, being void of content was just unacceptable. So basically, Titanfall was a Titan fail. Get it? Get it? In comes Titanfall 2. This game was supposed to be what Titanfall was, but better, and honestly it is. The game has those smooth gameplay mechanics from the original. You have more Titan variety, more maps, customizations, not as many weapons as I would like, but it's honestly good enough. Though, I'm just getting ahead of myself here, so I've decided to break this up into two parts. The campaign follows Jack Cooper, a random rifleman who stumbled ass backwards into the opportunity of a lifetime. When the story opens up, you're met with a tutorial mission, barf, called the Gauntlet, which helps you get a basic understanding of controls, shooting, and movement mechanics. During the Gauntlet, you have the opportunity to try and set the course record, sort of like another game. Once completed, you're thrust into previously mentioned opportunity of a lifetime. Your commanding officer is unalive, resulting in you, Jack Cooper, to repair the downed Titan named BT, where you'll navigate various locations to acquire power cells that will provide health to the Titan unit. Now that BT has been repaired, you'll embark on the greatest love story since Travis and Taylor. You'll experience boss battles, cheeky dialogue, and amazing level design. Not to mention, this game features one of my favorite game mechanics ever, time travel. You ever play the game Singularity? Probably not. It's basically this game where the player goes in and out of the past and present to stop some guy from doing bad things. What do you want? It's been a while. That's this, but with amazing movement mechanics. The relationship between BT and Cooper is great because it actually seems to develop into an actual bond versus, I don't know, what it feels like in that Call of Duty game where generic Soldier and Ethan seem like they're in some bad sitcom.
Don't you worry about me. Try and stop me, sir.
But Titanfall 2 just does everything better with this relationship. I won't spoil everything. BT dies. Well, sort of. But it is a really great campaign experience. Also, they save the day, obviously. I mean, what did you expect? As for the game's multiplayer, Titanfall 2's multiplayer is an underrated experience. It walked so that Apex could run. The movement is very polished and makes navigating around the maps feel seamless. The maps are large, but they're meant to fit all the Titan gameplay. Which hearing large maps in games that are normally 6v6 can suck, but Titanfall includes NPCs to help create more engagements and make the game feel less boring. But let's be real, the main draw of this multiplayer isn't the movements, weapons, or maps, it's the Titans. Titans are controllable mechanized war machines that act in a similar way to kill streaks. Calling one of these things in can strike fear into your opponents.
Totinos, how did you know? Totinos, everybody's talking about Totinos, hot pizza rolls, and not burritos, whoa.
Actually, I lied. Titans are more like the player's special ability, sort of how they work in games like Overwatch or like the Black Ops specialists. Bar starts at 0, and throughout the game, either playtime or kills bring it all the way up That way you can call one in and go to work. Now for the unplayable part. Titanfall was at one point, from my experience, unplayable due to server issues, lack of player base, and hackers. But it seems like in recent months this has started to improve, with the developer releasing a new game mode for the first time in a while that players think could mean a Titanfall 3 is incoming. And if you ignore this game, then you're just missing out, and probably why it's considered unplayable. Also, the current player base at this point is creating an environment that is extremely sweaty, so if you go into lobbies, don't be surprised when you're getting completely dunked on. But it's a game I can't recommend enough, as I feel like Titanfall 3 could be a legitimate Call of Duty competitor that was promised. Third time's the charm? God, why did this asshole have to win it again? Lastly, as I mentioned, Titanfall 3 will be coming. Not saying this with any sort of inside info, but with how Apex is slowly fading, I have a feeling that a newfound demand for a third Titanfall game could end up causing Respawn to develop the game. It's probably already in the works, but as long as EA times it right, I think Titanfall 3 can be successful. On a scale of slammin' to jammin', I would say Titanfall 2 is Black Sabbath. But I'd like to know what you have to say in the comments section below. What do you think of Titanfall 2? Is it properly rated or is it underrated? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, great. Maybe consider leaving a like and subscribe. If you didn't, well, it's not getting much better than this. Thanks for watching and, well, bye.